An old man of no use walked in the plain. He was lost in his mind. He caught a splinter of the sun and held it in his hands. He had forgotten, but at that moment he remembered who he was. The Shope. My imagination turns upon words. I'm certain that I was there in the forest when a storyteller recited Beowulf to a gathering of villagers in Anglo-Saxon England, common folk for whom such a performance was magical. And I've heard the thunder of King Lear's voice on the boards of the Globe Theatre in Elizabethan London. I was spellbound. Emily Dickinson read to me a poem she had written about crickets, in which she realized a precision of statement that defies description. Czesław Miłosz read his magnificent essay to an audience in Ohio. I was there. I know these voices as well as I know my own, for I've heard them in my dreams. Dreams are the language of the imagination, and words are the conceptual symbols of our dreams. The Shope, the actor, the writer, the storyteller, draw with words. All of human history and all that can be dreamed of the future is contained in such drawings. I hear ancient voices striving for meaning and art, and I see crude and beautiful images on the walls of caves. Deo gratias. The spiritual gravity of place. There are places in the world that lay claim to you, though you have been to them only once or not at all. They are places that you know imperfectly in your recollection, or unaccountably in your dreams. Once I visited the ancient city of Samarkand. I was there a few days, but it seems to me that I lived there throughout some years of my life. There I stepped out of time and into the vortex of cellular memory. Samarkand absorbed my whole being, and in my dreams I have come to Tintagel, or rather the mythic city of Camelot, which holds for me the same spiritual gravity. I have been there, though I have not, and there I have heard someone say, "Ah, you have returned. Welcome." The realization of nothing. At Brocéliande I joined a group of sightseers at Merlin's tomb. Their guide was a portly man of average aspect, who looked to be in his 50s or 60s. His eyebrows and beard were white, and there was an air of sagacity about him. He proclaimed himself a druid, and he spoke of Merlin with great authority. He held easily and securely the attention of his audience. There was something unusual about him. I felt that he existed in a separate age, a dimension of experience quite apart from my own. When he finished his remarks, I approached him, told him that I had never met a druid, and asked him if I might take his picture. He very kindly agreed. But when I held the camera to my eye, I could not find him in the viewfinder. Nevertheless, I snapped the shutter. Later, when I had the film developed, that was the only exposure on which there was no image at all. There was the realization of nothing. Guests. At the dinner table, what did I hear and see that evening? An apparition? I wonder. It was so fleetingly visible, a man followed by a dog. I heard the screen door through which they entered slam shut, and they were inside. Immediately they disappeared, not into thin air, as ghosts are said to do, but into a room that was perhaps 2 steps away. In that instant they were registered on my sight, a mere glimpse that even now is there. After a moment of perplexity, I asked the woman seated next to me if she had seen them. She had not.